So, I play a tiny little bit of Limbo, and I know he's actually a really great Warframe despite what a large part of the community thinks, so I'm thinking, hey, you know what? I should make a Limbo guide. Considering how some people play him, surely there's room for another one of those. Oh. Wow. Alright, never mind. Ignoring the fact that some of these are horribly outdated, and a few suggest you should just use Big Bubble for everything and simply never take Limbo against any enemy types that have nullifiers, most of these guides only talk about half of what it means to have a Limbo on a team. Specifically, Limbo's part of having a Limbo on a team. They don't explain what other players should know about him to help them better work with him. So that's what this video is going to be about. Helping other players learn how they can get the most out of having a Limbo on the team and how best to work around him. Alright, so the first thing you need to know is the simplest part of dealing with a Limbo. If you get banished, press shift or whatever your roll is bound to, and you can just roll out of the rift. For better or worse, banish is an AoE ability, and there's also the weird puddle he creates when he dodges, so this means accidental banishes happen way more often than most people like, including the Limbo. Generally, unless you are on the way to extraction, or you are playing Excalibur or Mesa, Limbo probably did not intend to put you in the rift, and depending on what he was trying to accomplish, it's actually a little possible to mess him up while you're in there. So don't get mad unless it happens constantly, just press one key and get out of it, no big deal. Also, if you're Excalibur or Mesa, or any other frame who can do a ton of damage with their abilities, don't get mad if you get sent to the rift. In fact, you might want to thank Limbo for that, and maybe ask any Limbo you see to keep you banished. Pretty much any ability in the game, such as Exalted Blade, Sarin Spores, Mesa's Peacemaker, etc., will simply ignore whether something is in the rift or not, and still do full damage. This effectively means that Banish gives, say, Excalibur, complete immunity to damage while still allowing them to shred any enemies in the normal plane. So, yeah, seriously, if you are playing with someone who rocks with abilities, you might go ahead and just ask for Banish. Alright, now that we've talked about Banish, let's move on to yet another part of his kit that people hate. Stasis. If enemies inside of the rift are not moving, use your melee or abilities. This is something most people know, yeah, but it does need to be said in any sort of guide like this. Sorry. Gunfire of all sorts is paused until either stasis breaks, wears off, or Limbo releases it. This can be annoying, I know, especially if Limbo uses a massive bubble and covers the entire map. But it also means the mission's probably going to be really easy. So, even if it's a bit annoying, if the mission's a quick type, I honestly suggest just living with it and then trying to avoid queuing with that Limbo again. But what if Limbo takes one of those huge bubbles on survival or defense or some other endless mission where we actually have to hang around him? Yeah. Okay, dodge. Okay, maybe not, but seriously, I do hate this too. I can't really find a good defense for the large stasis bubbles on any endless mission other than interception. And there only because it lets him block off a point while he goes and helps the rest of his team out elsewhere. So, yeah. That said, there are other things in the game that are also awful for other players, such as Rafflecopters and Banshee's Soundquake. I don't know why Limbo's bubble gets this much hate, but yeah, it's not a good thing. Oh, one last thing on stasis. Please don't try to burn it away with gunfire. This is an idiotic idea that people seem to get from having one half of the knowledge of how stasis in Limbo works, but not the other half. You see, stasis can be removed by firing enough bullets inside of the rift, yes. But it also costs very little to just recast, and if Limbo's got stasis up, he's probably got a reason for it. So if you knock it down, he's probably just going to recast it. And like I said, it's cheap. And he gets energy back from just being in the void. And from things dying in the rift. And he probably has flow and prime flow. And maybe streamline too. Oh, and Hunter Adrenaline's awesome too. And Yeah, if you get into a war over whether stasis is going to be up or not, you're going to run out of bullets long before he runs out of energy. If you really want stasis down, ask him to drop it. I know talking to other people is a weird idea, but honestly, if there is no mission objective that's going to be in immediate danger without his stasis, he'll probably drop it. But if the Limbo decides it's staying up, you're better off just accepting that. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Now, we've sort of been talking about Cataclysm for a while, but I think it's time to explain some important things about it so that people understand why it's up and how to work around it. Most people probably realize at least part of the why. It blocks whatever is inside of the rift from being harmed by what's outside. There's a couple of maybe glitches that can get through in the form of infested power carriers and napalm, fire, AoE puddle things, but beyond those two exceptions, there is nothing that can actually damage something that's inside of a stasis cataclysm that does not cancel the abilities themselves. And that is a very important distinction to note. Unlike Frost and Gara's shields, no amount of damage will break Cataclysm. Once it is cast, the only way for the AI to remove it are through things like nullifiers, which would also remove the other Warframe shields. So, as long as you keep an eye out for those troublesome enemy types, whatever is inside of the Cataclysm is completely safe. In addition, if you need energy, go stand in it for a minute. It's not much, but you do get a small amount of energy regeneration while you're in there. So if you take a moment to go melee down anything that's wandered in, you might come out ready to go with another ability's worth of energy. Finally, the last thing you need to know about Cataclysm is that it is a zone, not a shield. What I mean by this is that unlike Frost shields, your bullets are not stopped if they hit the edge of a Cataclysm. They cannot shoot things inside of the zone, but even if stasis is active, if you fire your gun at something that's on the opposite side of the bubble, it will hit. Opposite applies too, of course, but enemies generally are not smart enough to shoot you if there is something in the rift between you and it. So as long as Limbo's got only a small bubble set up, you might just find it even less clunky to work with than a Frost bubble. I mean, after all, you'll be in melee range when dealing with enemies inside of a Frost bubble as well, so not having as many enemies blocked off might make you happy. Though, this is the internet after all, and I probably should not get my hopes up. Anyways, I know this won't solve every potential problem you might have with the Rift Magician, but hopefully it'll make dealing with him a little less frustrating. He really is an immensely powerful and useful frame, and it really saddens me when people flat out tell me not to use my abilities, or ask, what can Limbo even do? Especially since the real answer to that would probably require a full video series on its own. Speaking of which, if you like this video, leave a like and subscribe, because I'm planning on doing just that. Farewell.